Hey everyone, welcome back. This is my review of Majimoji Rurumo episode 4. Okay, this week's episode of Majimoji Rurumo was pretty straightforward. It was still funny, don't get me wrong. The comedy in this series is definitely keeping up to base with its standard, or with the standards that's laid out for it so far anyways. Okay, it really is. But this week's episode was pretty straightforward. We had basically the disciplinary committee of the school cracking down on basically anything that would seem to be indecent, obscene, or immoral by some in the school. Okay, and to do that, they're checking all the lockers and every place else where people could hide stuff. And they're confiscating them and disposing of them. Okay. Now, and obviously our main male character, Shibasaki, is freaking out about this, and so are his friends. Okay. And even so are a lot of the other girls, too, because, they're cracking down on so many other things, too, like wearing accessories to school, and stuff like that. Okay, so really it's not just our perverted male characters that are getting freaked out by this. It's lots of students that are really getting freaked out by this, and it was pretty funny. Now, this episode was pretty standard. It wasn't not anything we haven't seen before, but I still thought it was pretty good. Not my favorite episode in the series so far by any means. But I still thought it was a really funny episode. Especially at the end there with that yandere mother once again burning all of Shibasaki's porno magazines because he completely forgot to hide them from her. He completely forgot about her, basically. And then he freaked out from that. That was probably my second favorite thing in this episode. But my favorite thing in this episode was actually, in terms of comedy, was actually that cat, which I forget what her name is, using some magic to actually transform into a human. And we learned that 25 years ago she actually did the same thing for whatever reason. We didn't learn in this episode exactly what that reason was for, but she hasn't done it since then. And she was really having fun there, basically freaking out Shibasaki even more, as if he actually needed that. So, yeah, and aside from the comedy in this episode, we do get a little bit of backstory, I guess a little bit, in the head of the disciplinary committee, which I don't remember what her name is. But basically, in middle school, all of the guys, not just Shibasaki, but all of the guys loved flipping girls' shirts, or skirts, and she was the only one who they didn't because I guess nobody really saw her as a girl, in a sense. But she did remember that Shibasaki was the only one who actually did see her as an actual female, which I thought was actually pretty cool. A little bit of character development for her, I guess, which I didn't expect to get character development for a character like that in this series, so that was a bit of a surprise, but I still enjoyed it. So overall, that was probably my favorite part of this episode, okay? And we actually learned that those two, at least I think it's hinted towards that those two might know each other a bit better than we think. Aside from just seeing each other in the past, I mean, they might have, apparently, it's hinted that their parents, or that their mothers were close friends or something, because she ends up going over to Shibasaki's house with something to give to him because Shibasaki's mother told her mother to tell her to give it to him or something like that. So they might have actually been closer in the past than we've seen so far. But overall, I thought this was a good episode. It had a little bit of plot or a little bit of character development for her, which I didn't expect. I'm not sure if that's going to amount to anything in the plot, so I don't know if I can really call it plot development as of yet, but I thought it was a pretty funny episode. Not my favorite episode in the series so far, but it was still pretty good and I enjoyed it. So anyways, overall, hope you enjoyed this review, guys. See you after, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.